English language teaching has the same challenges the world over. This series focuses on teaching speaking. We've come to Thailand to see how teachers here monitor their students' speaking activities, and we'll have expert tips from teacher trainer John Kay.
One of the fears of a teacher is that if you're not involved, you're not doing your job properly. But sometimes doing your job properly means taking a back seat, monitoring, watch what your students are doing, don't interfere with what your students are doing. Monitoring requires strategies. Your students are on task, so now what? First of all, you have to check that the instructions have been understood and the students are working.
Okay, sorry class, I'm sorry. I should have told you what you should do. Okay, you are advisors. You give advice, okay?
If your activity requires your students to work in pairs and you have one person who's left over, put that person into a group of 3 so that this frees you to monitor what's happening with all the other pairs. If your students are holding back, think about why this could be. Is it because they're fearful of making mistakes? Or is it because they don't feel confident enough? Or is it perhaps because you're monitoring them too closely? Stand back, take a back seat, leave them, lose the eye contact so that they don't know that you're there.
The advisor needs to use the target language. If I were you.
Sometimes it's a good idea to actually tell the students what you're monitoring for. Maybe you're monitoring for pronunciation or accuracy, to see how they're actually using the language that they've practiced beforehand.
If I were you, I would try to talk to people.
Rather than helping them just with the target language, are they using the useful language in the group activity? If not, maybe you could prompt them in this direction.
If I were you, I will find a comic and read it. It's funny.
But don't stop them from being experimental and using English. Encourage that.
How many? And answer with there are and there is.
So what do you do if the students just haven't got it? Well, go in, help them with it. But don't interfere too early.
Pig.
Give them a chance to sort it out for themselves. Peer correction.
A horse. There are 2 horses in my farm.
Are they doing it successfully? If they don't need any help, then stay out of the way. Listen. If you need to approach a group, okay, go in there. Give them a prompt. But once you've helped out, don't become part of the proceedings. Move on.
In my farm. I try to encourage them to do the activity in group. The students don't feel shy when they work together in group. Yeah. Finish? Okay.
If there's one person in the group who is obviously struggling, give them a monitoring task. They're listening for pronunciation, or maybe they're listening for structure, or maybe they're listening for use of useful language. That's their responsibility. They are part of the group, and so it's not teacher-dominated.
Tell me what they are wearing. Okay, now open it to encourage them to speak. That's the first priority. I try to correct the grammar or the mistake of the language later on.
For correction purposes, make a note, and then you can refer to it later. You can also refer to this for future lessons. If you hear something while you're monitoring that is particularly good, why not tell them? You know, go in there and let them know that it was good.
Okay, very good. And what about this one?
Have you finished? Very good. And 5, good.
The students are working in groups. One group finishes first. Or how do you know when it's the end of the activity? Well, watch carefully, listen carefully.
You know what's going to happen. Just one row, this row. Just this row. Stand up.
Rearrange the groups, maybe. They all move together, which gives them a chance to have a breather. It's an energizer. And then they begin the task again. Sometimes this is more successful than the first time.
Good advice. Thank you.
If you've moved the students around and they've exhausted everything they want to talk about, don't let the task drag on. Leave them on a high. Finish while they're still busy.
Time is up. I'm happy that you like it. But let's wrap up the lesson. What do we learn today?